What's up, you guys? So I wanted to come today and do this video about Kerry Washington finding out who her biological parents are after being deceived for most of her life, and about her revealing her eating disorder and the connection between the two of them. I wanted to come and do this video today because so many celebrities lately have been exposing the lies their parents have been telling them. I watched Kirk Franklin's documentary recently, and I may still do a video about Kirk Franklin, but his documentary is so deep about finding out his real father and his mother denying him that truth. Even when faced with a DNA test, his mother still denied him the truth of his real father. Now come to find out, a similar situation has happened to Kerry Washington, and in her new book, she kind of connects the dots of feeling off about something going on in her life, like feeling off about her body, and that leading to an eating disorder, and now finally finding out who her real father is. She connects the dots in her book, and so I just wanted to share with you what is going on with her and what she has shared with the world. Kerry Washington is a well-known actress. She's best known for playing crisis manager Olivia Pope on the television drama Scandal. And she also starred as Anita Hill in the 2016 television film Confirmation. And she's won an Emmy Award for her Outstanding Variety Special for her role in the live revival of Good Times in 2019. And she's also been in the movies Ray, The Last King of Scotland, and Django Unchained. So she's definitely what I would call an A-list actress. And from the time watching her when she first appeared in 2001 in Save the Last Dance until now, I have noticed a significant amount of weight loss for Kerry Washington, but I always chalked it up to Hollywood. I felt like maybe she was trying to meet Hollywood's beauty standards, and that's why she was so thin, to the point where you could actually see her bones. But now Kerry Washington has revealed in her new book, and she's done interviews with People magazine and with Robin Roberts, and she's revealed that she was suffering from an eating disorder. And she says that it's partly due to her not knowing the truth about her body. And I can definitely see the connection that she's making. People magazine reports Kerry Washington is opening up about a startling revelation regarding her parents. In her new memoir, Thicker Than Water, the 46-year-old Scandal star shares that she recently learned that her father, Earl Washington, is not her biological father, and it sent her on a journey of self-discovery. She says it literally turned her world upside down. Those are her words. And she explains that she discovered the family secret. You guys, she discovered the family secret after she told her parents that she was planning to appear on Henry Louis Gates Jr.'s Finding Your Roots. Now, I love this show. I love Ancestry DNA. I love all this DNA and learning about your ancestors through your family tree and all that type of stuff. I actually set my DVR for this show. So I love this show, but apparently her parents weren't ever planning to tell her the truth about her biology, about her paternity, until she told them she was going on this show where they were going to test her DNA. And then they asked her to sit down and talk to them. That was in the spring of 2018. And she said, quote, "When I got this information, I was like, oh, I now know my story." She said, "I didn't know what my story was, but I was playing the supporting character in their story." So she was a supporting character in their story. They know the truth, and they know that her biological father was a sperm donor. But in her reality, where she's supposed to be the main character, she's feeling like something is off. She said she felt a dissonance, like, quote, "Somebody is not telling me something about my body." And she said it made her feel like there was something in her body that she had to fix. So all this time when she's struggling from an eating disorder is because she's feeling like there's something going on in her body that she has to fix. All the while she's not knowing it's because she doesn't know her paternity. Like, she feels it, but she doesn't know it. She said when they sat her down for that conversation, she learned that they'd opted to use an anonymous sperm donor to help conceive after struggling with fertility issues. And she said they admitted they had all but decided to never tell her. So they were never going to tell her the truth about her paternity. The whole time this woman is struggling, and they were never going to tell her that they used an anonymous sperm donor. And so she decided to write a book about it. And she said her parents were not thrilled about her writing this book. Initially, the book was supposed to be about the things she learned playing Olivia Pope on Scandal. But she said once she found out about her true paternity, she decided to make the book about her real life and the things that she struggled with in reality. And she said her parents were not thrilled about her writing it. She said, quote, "My parents were not thrilled about me writing this. This really is a book about me. I now get to step into being the most important person in my life." So now she feels like she gets to be the main character in her life through this book. And now that she knows the truth about how her life began. She said, quote, "I really started to have so much more love and compassion and understanding for my parents. Taking this deep dive into our family history made me put myself in their shoes and think about the things they've had to navigate and what they've been through and what they've sacrificed. And it really made me feel closer to them." So at this point, it seems like she's made peace with the information that her biological father is an anonymous sperm donor. And it seems that she's also made peace with her parents not sharing this information with her. Like she said, she feels closer to them now. But she does say that feeling like she doesn't know what's going on in her body is what made her struggle with an eating disorder. And so Kerry Washington went to George Washington University. In the 90s, she was a student at George Washington University, and she said she had a high GPA and dangerously low self-esteem. She said she experienced trauma and anxiety as a young child, and growing up with parents she felt were constantly at odds and keeping things from her. So she could feel that they were keeping a secret from her, but she didn't know what it was. And she says in order to cope with those feelings, she sought to be perfect. But in doing so, she reached her lowest point during her college years. And she said, quote, "Because of abuse, of perfectionism, because of all kind of things, my behavior stemmed from me not being comfortable in my body." And she shared an excerpt of her book with People magazine where she explains all this. And she says, "By the time I got to college, my relationship with food and my body had become a toxic cycle of self-abuse that utilized the tools of starvation, binge eating, body obsession, and compulsive exercise. I would, when seeking to stuff my feelings, stuff my face, secretly binge eating for days at a time, often to the point of physical pain, sometimes to the point of passing out." She would eat so much she would pass out. And she says, "Then awake the next morning, surrounded by dirty dishes, empty food boxes, and sticky leftovers. I would resolve to rid my body of the comfort I had sought the night before. But not by throwing up. That was too messy. That behavior was for girls with eating disorders, girls who were weak and undisciplined. Instead, my drive toward perfectionism directed me toward control, either by not eating for days at a time or by exercising for several hours, all in an attempt to right the wrongs of the binging. Though they eventually led to unfathomable levels of depression, food and exercise were the first ideal ways to indulge compulsive behaviors because I could hide them more easily than drugs or alcohol. And that constant manipulation of my own behavior allowed me the illusion of control. But this excessive swinging between extremes was accompanied by a consistent hatred of my body. If my childhood had been spent in the constant pursuit of being better, the seeds of perfectionism had blossomed into self-contempt." So she hated herself. She hated her body. And part of that had to do with feeling that there was something in her body that she needed to fix. And then she found out as an adult in 2018, she found out that feeling was not knowing her biological father. You guys, I bought this book. It releases tomorrow. I bought it on Audible. I'm definitely going to be reading it. It sounds like a good book, but I just want to share with you guys what's going on with Kerry Washington. If you're like me and you see her on red carpets and you always wonder, why is she so skinny? Is she just trying to look like Hollywood wants women to look? Like, is she just trying to fit in and get roles? Like, why is she so slim? This is the reason why. She had an eating disorder because she felt like there was something in her body that she needed to fix. And then her parents finally let her know her true biological makeup, her true paternity. You guys, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about it. As always, thanks for watching. Layla.